Hello, Liberty Hill ISD Panthers. Travis Motal, Director of Secondary Education. I'm coming to you with a short presentation about our COVID response and COVID updates for Liberty Hill ISD. I'm going to be sharing with you a presentation that we presented to the board on Monday, September 20th, 2021. Our Liberty Hill ISD COVID team meets multiple times a day, reports often to Mr. Snell. Each night we collect a summary of the data and make sure that we share it with Mr. Snell and any other department so we can all continue to work on the same page to support our campuses, support our students, and support our staff. Since the last board meeting, we have added a few changes and made a few updates. Due to the high number of COVID cases, we've limited visitors to essential visitors only. We stopped large indoor gatherings, stopped large group field trips. We have added a process if a classroom or grade level needs to go to remote conferencing. We've made some additions to our website. We've added information about vaccinations, notification letter examples, supporting documents on how to do remote conferencing at home, what to do if you have a doctor's order for quarantine, and our absence coding for COVID and for quarantining. On our website, we've also clarified the timeline for isolation and gave an example. We've clarified what to do if someone in your home is COVID positive and what to do if you are pending a COVID test. We've clarified that if you're out for 3 days or there is a high number of COVID cases, a doctor's note will be required to return, which is something that's always been in place, but we went ahead and added it to this website so the information is all linked up together. And we are constantly updating our data charts so that way they are clear and efficient. This information is as of September 21st, 9:15 a.m. This is our total active staff and student cases in Liberty Hill ISD. This is the total number of active and recovered COVID cases together for both students and staff. This is the positivity rate by campus and department. And this is the number of COVID positive reports by date over a 2-week time period so we can see a pattern of data over time. This is a chart that shows the active number of cases by day. So you can see starting from July 1st all the way to now, we have the first day of school, August 10th, the first day when staff return, August 10th, the first day of school, August 19th, when all of Liberty Hill Middle School went to remote conferencing, and the Tuesday after Labor Day. And you can see the pattern of data for students goes up. We flatten out a little bit, and now we're on the downward side of this spike. The same with the staff, goes up a little bit right here at the beginning of September, and now we're on the downward side of that spike. This is a comparison of our active cases compared to Williamson County. So this is starting on the first day of school around August 19th. You can see we basically follow the same pattern as the county where we go up here at the beginning of September, and then we come out of this COVID spike now towards the middle of September. This is the COVID data for public schools across the entire state of Texas. This blue line is for students. You can see follows basically the same pattern that the county and our Liberty Hill ISD has, where we go up at the beginning of September, and now we're coming down towards the middle of September, and the same with the pattern of the staff. This is a new reports by day comparing Liberty Hill ISD to Williamson County. And again, we're looking at trends of data over time. So all of these data charts are showing us is Liberty Hill ISD matching what's happening in the county and across the state. And if we're matching what's happening in the county and across the state, then we understand that we're following the same basic pattern that they're having everywhere. Now, if our data is very different than the county or very different than the state, then we need to dive a little bit deeper to try to find out why is our data different, so we can either understand why it's happening or put more processes in place if there are concerns we need to address. This is Williamson County COVID data starting from last June 2020 all the way until now, September 2021. And you can see over time, we go through these COVID spikes that are about 10 weeks on average. So we have our first one June 2020 to August 2020 when school started, and then it flattens out. And then we started another spike at the beginning of November, goes all the way to the beginning of February. And I put this purple line in here because this is when Liberty Hill Junior High closed for a week before Thanksgiving. And then we flatten out again last spring, 2021. And then starting in July, the spike starts up again. And now we are coming out of that spike, coming around. So you can see each set of COVID spikes we have are about 10 weeks on average around the county. And then when you lay over the Liberty Hill LHISD COVID data from last year, you can see right here in the middle when the county was having this big spike is when we had our largest number of cases as well. We had close to 600 students and staff reporting or being presumptive of COVID positive. Before that spike, we had around 200. After that spike, we had around 130. So you can see our data was matching up very much to what the county was experiencing last year. One of the data trends that we're following is in-home spread. So as of this morning, we have 723 total cases, students and staff combined. 232 of those cases have been identified as in-home connections, either through siblings, brothers and sisters, or parents and their children, or parents, staff members, parents, and their children who also attend school. So 32% of those have an in-home connection. So basically 1 in 3 of all of our reports are showing that there is spread within the home. We always highly encourage that if you have someone COVID positive in your home and there is close contact with those people in the home, everyone should stay home until the quarantine period ends. We understand that can put a burden on families, and so each situation is different, but that is something that we are encouraging to really monitor. You have COVID in your home is to monitor the other family members in your home so we can try to contain the spread. Most of our families do a great job of reporting right away. Some, due to different circumstances, can't report until days after. We have had some cases where students come to school symptomatic only to be sent home. So again, if your child's symptomatic, we encourage you to keep them home. And we've also had a few cases where students come to school pending a test only to find out they're positive that day or the next day. So again, if you're pending a test, we strongly encourage you to stay home. In our decision to isolate a class or a grade level to go to remote conferencing, we review quite a bit of data with the most up-to-date COVID data that we have for new reports. We look at dates recovered. We look at when students and staff last day was on campus in that area that we're concerned about. We also analyze absences for illnesses and people that are self-quarantining home. We also look at students and staff that may have been sent home by the nurse. So all of that data helps us make the best decision on whether or not we need to isolate a class or grade level to remote conferencing. Some thresholds that we have set: elementary, 4 or more proactive cases; secondary, 10% or more of a grade level. That's our starting place. And then we look at the data around it to try to decide what's the best action for us to take. We take into consideration that in-person school is the best for students. We currently don't offer a virtual learning environment, so sending kids home does put a burden on the kid. It puts them behind. It also puts a burden on our families because we understand those families have jobs and lives that they need to continue with. Again, not all of our classes can be taught successfully virtually as well. We do have internal support in place for our campuses. We have form letters ready to go. We have support for staff, support for students. So once we make the decision that we do need to have a class or grade level isolate, we're able to put some things in place so that way we can support those students, support those families as best we can, and support the staff at school as well. This is not an easy decision, but we try to look at as much data as we can. And in the end, our goal is to try to keep everyone as safe as we possibly can. We are looking at doing some COVID testing, mainly for the staff right now. We hope to incorporate the students at one point, but right now our focus is trying to get a vendor in place in order to get testing in place for the staff. If at the point we do move forward with testing for students, we will communicate that out. We do have to have parent consent, so none of that's going to happen without our parent consent. But we are looking at trying to get a vendor in place through funding from the federal government and the state in order to test our staff to try to keep our staff as safe as possible. Going forward is going to continue to take a team effort to keep face-to-face learning going. We are cautiously optimistic right now about our current COVID data. We were trending up pretty good with the number of reports, and now we're on the downward side of that spike. And so we're happy about that. We think it's great. We're following the other data trends around the state and the county. But again, we're cautiously optimistic because if anything that's shown on the slide with the multiple spikes is that in the next few months, we would anticipate another one again. So data shows the spikes are 10 to 12 weeks long on average. We do continue our sanitation process as much as we can. Most transmission is from droplets in the air and not touch point. So again, we strongly encourage layers of protection like mask wearing, isolation when symptomatic, quarantining when there's some spread, and getting your vaccination. We will continue to be transparent about our data, and we're going to communicate in advance as much as possible so people can plan. And we can't thank our community and our staff enough for all their feedback, their support, and their patience. A lot of the clarifications and the data that we do is all based on feedback that we get from people. And so we thank our community very much for being partners with us as we continue to support our schools as much as we can. So that concludes our presentation that we gave to the board on our COVID update. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me. I'll be happy to answer them. And again, thank you very much for being partners in education with us as we continue to support our students and staff here in Liberty Hill LHISD. Thank you.